Last November, Netflix delivered a big hit with the action comedy Red Notice. The lineup of Ryan Reynolds, Gadot and Dwayne Johnson won over viewers not only thanks to their fame, but also because of their shallow and rather mainstream action. In fact, the movie seems to be such a huge success that Netflix decided to go ahead with not only one, but two sequels, as reported by the US magazine Deadline. According to the report, Johnson will return as John Hartley, Reynolds as Nolan Booth, and Gadot as Sarah Black. The story about the most wanted criminals in the world and the cat-and-mouse game with the police will then probably be expanded to include some other big names, similar to what we know from the Oceans film series, for example. Exactly how the plot will carry on is not yet clear, but we strongly assume that the story will continue in Paris, as Netflix confirmed the two sequels will be shot back-to-back, meaning all in one chunk. This year, however, it seems that there will be no filming because it is not scheduled to start before early 2023. The release is thus unfortunately not to be expected before the end of 2023. In November 2017, work on the Lord of the Rings series was officially announced, and this year we can at least watch the first season exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. All the better that in the meantime not only the official title, The Lord of the Rings of Power, is known, but also a first teaser was published. The just under 1 minute clip was unexpectedly released last Wednesday and caused great excitement due to the usual epic style. In terms of content, the series deals with the legendary Second Age of Middle-earth for the first time on screen. The story of the Rings of Power thus takes place thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit or Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Amazon says that the series begins in a time of peace, in which we will also get to see some old familiar characters such as Galadriel. The initial peace, however, should quickly turn around to the opposite because there's also mention of the long-feared return of evil, which should refer to none other than Sauron. A special treat for the eyes will also be the vast landscape of Middle-earth, which stretches from the darkest depth of the Misty Mountains to the majestic forests of Lindon and the breathtaking island kingdom of Numenor, as Amazon itself announced. However, some questions are still left unanswered. For instance, it is not clear whether the current canon will be kept or discarded. All this is to be found out later this summer because The Lord of the Rings of Power will air on September 2nd, 2022 exclusively on Amazon Prime. Before the end of the year, we will be able to enjoy the new DC sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, in theaters. On Instagram, director James Wan now shared a cheery picture from the last day of shooting where he can be seen alongside Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa on the beach in Malibu. The DC executives must have high hopes for the new Aquaman because if you look at the past films like Birds of Prey or The Suicide Squad, they have either produced flops in the recent past or thrilled the masses with movies like Joker. In between, there was basically nothing, and to be honest, Joker is not really part of the DCEU and completely stands on its own. Aquaman from 2018, on the other hand, is the most successful DC film of all time, with box office takings of $1.1 billion, which of course has also to do with the extremely popular Jason Momoa. In addition to the obligatory words of thanks to the cast and crew in the Instagram post, Wan also emphasized that the movie still has a long way to go before it's truly ready for the big screen. In terms of content, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom once again revolves around the titular superhero Arthur Curry, who is the new king of Atlantis following the defeat of his half-brother Ormarius. Pretty soon it becomes clear that the two feuding characters will have to team up after all, as a long-hidden force is threatening Atlantis and in fact the entire world. In addition to Momoa and Wilson, we will be able to see among others Dolph Lundgren as King Nereus, Nicole Kidman as Queen Atlanna, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Black Manta, and last but not least, Amber Heard as Mera, who is widely scorned in the fan community. The screenplay is once again written by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, while production is also directed by Peter Safran alongside James Wan. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will hit theaters on December 16th, 2022. We can look forward to the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever at the end of this year, and it seems that an actress who was thought to be out of action is now returning to the set. We are of course talking about Letitia Wright, who, as we reported last year, injured herself so severely during filming that she was unable to perform for months. A return was not foreseeable until now. also because she made statements about the COVID vaccination which gave the responsible people at Disney headaches. Now, the 28-year-old British actress has fought her way back, which should especially please those involved in the production. After all, shooting was completely on hold for the time being because of her important role as Shuri. In particular, the fact that Shuri is the sister of King T'Challa, who, as everyone knows, was embodied by Chadwick Boseman, who passed away in 2020, may have finally prompted the responsible parties to let her return. In fact, there's a persistent theory that Shuri is to follow in the footsteps of her brother T'Challa and that she will therefore play a very important, almost irreplaceable role in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Whether Wright and her character Shuri will continue to play a role in the MCU after the Black Panther sequel is unlikely, as Disney, and especially the MCU, are not known for tolerating divergent and controversial opinions in their ranks. For now, however, filming continues in Atlanta and we're definitely excited to see Letitia Wright back for her role. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will be released in theaters on November 11th, 2022. This year, not only The Batman will be released in theaters, its female counterpart, Batgirl, will also soon celebrate her premiere in the form of a new movie. The movie will be directed by Bad Boys for Life directors Adil Arbi and Bilall, who will release the DC blockbuster on HBO Max. Despite the extremely prominent cast, which in addition to leading actress Leslie Grace's Batgirl also features stars like J.K. Simmons as her father James Gordon, Brandon Fraser as the villain Firefly, and Michael Keaton as Batman, it appears that a theatrical release is still unlikely. Filming is currently taking place in Glasgow, Scotland, where we were finally treated to a first image of Batgirl a few days ago. The outfit appears not to be very close to the original comic, but that should definitely not dampen our anticipation for the film. There's currently no concrete release date for Batgirl, although we can probably expect a release on HBO Max this year. Just about everyone knows the Frozen song Let It Go, which was magnificently sung by US star Idina Menzel and surely played in millions of children's rooms. One could almost think that this is the most successful Disney song of all time, but we were taught otherwise this week. As revealed by the US Billboard chart, the title song of Encanto, called We Don't Talk About Bruno, is now the most successful Disney song in over 26 years. The first spot on the US chart certainly does justice to this splendid animated film, as it was able to convince critics and Disney fans alike in spite of the circumstances, which were not always simple due to the pandemic. The TikTok platform probably played a significant part in the success, as the hashtag Encanto really took off there with billions of views. If you have a Disney Plus subscription and haven't seen the film yet, you should do so quickly, and not just because of the highly popular theme song.
We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
Slowly but surely, the production of The Last of Us series is progressing, as those responsible confirmed Storm Reed, who's only 18 years old, is now part of the cast. It is furthermore known that she will embody the role of Ellie's friend Riley Abel, which surprised many fans. While Riley is not a part of the two main games, she does appear in a DLC of the first part called Left Behind, where the young girl's heartwarming but ultimately tragic story is told. The DLC is set a few weeks before the events of the first part and takes place in an abandoned mall in Boston, where the two best friends perfectly combine emotional conversations with funny actions. In a video that circulated on Twitter back on January 10th, a scene strongly reminiscent of that very mall was seen in the background. A few days ago, an appearance by Riley was then officially confirmed. It is therefore quite possible that the content of the upcoming series will start off with Left Behind, or alternatively that the story of the DLC will be used for various flashbacks. However, the series is supposed to revolve around the story of the first part and the two main characters Joel and Ellie, who have to fight their way west through the United States in order to reach a research facility. In addition to Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie, the cast also includes Gabriel Luna as Joel's brother Tommy, Anna Dorff as Tess, and Con O'Neill as Bill. It is not known yet when exactly the series by Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann will be out, but we will of course keep you up to date. So, that's it with our news for this week. Of course, do not miss to have a look at the aforementioned teaser for the Lord of the Rings series on our channel. In addition, there's a new Moon Knight trailer. Check it out, Marvel fans are in for a treat.